When you think about a major earthquake, you probably have a little movie that plays in your head. In it, you're the hero. You act decisively. You dive under a sturdy table. You're a person of action. But that's a fantasy. For most people, the reality is tragically different. When the ground starts to heave and roar, the vast majority of people do absolutely nothing. They freeze. They stare at the shaking walls, their brains struggling to make sense of what's happening, waiting for things to go back to normal until it's too late. This fatal hesitation isn't a weakness or a character flaw. It's a predictable psychological glitch called normalcy bias. It is the single biggest and most misunderstood reason people get hurt in disasters. Understanding this glitch is the key to your survival. So, in the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what it is and how you can crush it when it matters most. So, what is normalcy bias? It's our brain's tendency to assume that life will continue on as it always has. It's a useful survival mechanism 99.9% of the time, stopping us from panicking at every loud noise. The problem is, our brain builds its reality on past experiences. If you've lived 10,000 days where the ground has been perfectly still, it creates a powerful expectation. The ground is always stable. So when a tremor starts, your brain doesn't scream earthquake, it searches for a normal explanation. Is that a big truck driving by? This internal debate is normalcy bias in action. Think of it like a computer's default program, set to normal. An earthquake is a critical error message, but instead of running the emergency protocol, your brain wants to click ignore because the error contradicts the program that has run flawlessly for years. This is why people lose precious, life-saving seconds. This isn't just theory. Survivor accounts are filled with stories of this strange initial freeze. One survivor of a powerful 7.5 magnitude quake described waking up to see his chandelier shaking wildly. His first thought wasn't fear, it was just deep confusion. He only screamed to wake his brothers after that period of paralysis, and by the time he tried to run, the shaking was so violent he could barely stand. How do you think he survived despite this fatal delay? Comment below with your theory, and I'll reveal the answer at the end of the video. This delay is what drives safety officials crazy. Author Amanda Ripley breaks down disaster response into 3 phases: denial, deliberation, and the decisive moment. Normalcy bias traps us in the first 2, and while your brain is busy deliberating, the disaster isn't waiting. Most injuries in earthquakes don't come from the shaking itself, but from falling objects hitting people who are trapped in that delay, or who try to make a panicked run too late. Before we get to the most important part, the actionable steps to defeat this internal enemy, if you're finding this information valuable, take a second to hit that subscribe button. Sharing this video could honestly make a difference in someone else's decisive moment. Okay, so understanding that normalcy bias exists gives you a huge advantage. You know your brain is programmed to hesitate. So how do you override that programming? You create a new one, a preloaded emergency protocol that skips the need to think. Here's how you act while others are still frozen. 1. Train your brain with mental rehearsal. This is your most powerful tool. You have to create a vivid mental movie now. Sit in your living room. Close your eyes. Imagine the shaking starts. Picture yourself immediately executing your plan, dropping to your hands and knees, covering your head and neck, crawling under that solid coffee table, and holding on. Do this for every room you spend time in. This practice builds mental muscle memory. When the real thing happens, your brain won't waste time thinking, it will just run the plan you already saved. 2. Embrace the action over analysis rule. The official advice is simple: drop, cover, and hold on. This isn't just a slogan, it's a brilliant psychological hack that short-circuits analysis paralysis. Your new rule is this: the instant you feel shaking, you act. You don't wait for more information. The physical act of dropping to the ground breaks the freeze response and forces your mind to follow. Remember, trying to run outside is a dangerous mistake. Make drop, cover, and hold on your non-negotiable immediate command. 3. Create environmental triggers. The final piece is to hardwire your plan into your environment. Turn your safe spots into visual cues. When you walk into your office, don't just see a desk, see it as earthquake safe spot number 1. By consciously labeling these places, you're creating triggers. When the shaking begins, your eyes will dart around the room. If you've pre-programmed these triggers, your brain won't see chaos, it will see a solution. The survivor's secret, the reveal. Earlier, I asked how the survivor who froze managed to escape. The answer is simple, yet profound. He eventually acted. His period of confusion was dangerous, but his decision to scream and wake his brothers was the action that broke the spell of paralysis. Instead of being trapped by his own internal fear, the sudden overwhelming responsibility for his brothers gave his brain a new singular mission: protect them. That tiny psychological shift from victim to protector was enough. It allowed them to move together through the chaos, finding cover just moments before the roof collapsed. It's a powerful reminder that even a delayed action is infinitely better than no action at all. The biggest danger in an earthquake isn't the shaking ground. It's the hesitating mind. It's the few seconds we lose to disbelief. But now you know its secret. By building a plan through mental rehearsal, committing to immediate action, and mapping your environment with triggers, you can overwrite that flawed default program. You can turn potential paralysis into decisive, life-saving action. You are no longer a victim of your own psychology. You are a survivor, prepared with the one tool that matters most: a mind that is ready to act. If this video helped you understand a hidden danger, please share it with your family and friends. And for more on the psychology of survival, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Stay prepared and stay safe.